back again with another YouTube video. It's your boy Ryan G. Today we're gonna react to why Abel Tesfaye. I don't want to say it wrong. I'm gonna say why Abel is retiring the Weeknd. We're gonna react to why Abel is retiring the Weeknd. Let's get right into the video. I know there's Weeknd fans out there that be watching my channel. I'm pretty sure. So let's see. Cause I think I did the Weeknd video before. I don't think it did numbers, but we'll see what it does this time.
I want to face my wife's kill.
We got an advertisement. They mowing grass outside. I don't know what they doing outside, but I hope y'all can hear me well.
You'll get to know nobody's ever made me fall in love.
One of my favorite pop singers, R&B singers of this generation. Probably my favorite. He was my favorite, but like he is one of my favorite like of this generation. Cause I have other favorite R&B singers too. This looks like what is this, the Kiss Lane era, or is this like the Beauty Behind the Madness? This looks like one of them, or it could be Trilogy. I really don't know. But let's get right into the video.
Before the fame, before
Nice introduction, by the way.
before the Grammys, and before the sold-out stadiums. There was just Abel Tesfaye, an Ethiopian-Canadian kid from Scarborough, Toronto, growing up in a home filled with Amharic prayers and the sounds of Ethiopian culture. But his childhood was far from perfect, raised by his mother and grandmother, abandoned by his father. Without a father figure, he found escape in television, music, and eventually, drugs. By 11 years old, he was already smoking weed. By 16, his life revolved around cocaine, ecstasy, and ketamine.
Yeah, I already know about his backstory a little bit.
And by 17, he vowed, if I don't make it, I'll end it all. And so he left home, dropped out of high school, disappeared that weekend, and never looked back. And with that, the Weeknd was born.
And that's how he found his name.
He and his best friend left home with just a mattress and a vision, living in a small, crammed, one-bedroom apartment in Parkdale, Toronto, where stealing to survive and experimenting with drugs became his new reality. Broke, homeless, and addicted, Abel bounced from one couch to another, but somewhere in that haze, a sound was forming. Something raw, dark.
Like when you look at his backstory and stuff like, you guys, do you guys hear that grass outside being cut? It's like I don't even know if you guys can hear me. Just give it a second. Just give it a second. Just give it a second. Okay, so pretty much what I was saying was his backstory is really, when you think about it, you didn't think he would make it through that situation that he went through. But look where he is now. You know what I mean? One of the biggest. So.
Dark, and brutally honest. 2010, he met Jeremy Rose, a producer who helped shape his early sound. Together they created What You Need, The Morning, and Loft Music. No face, no identity, just music. The Weeknd's mysterious uploads of What You Need, Loft Music, and The Morning caught fire. The raw, haunting sound of dark R&B was something the industry had never seen before. It was seductive, intoxicating, and painfully honest. R&B soaked in drugs, sex, and heartbreak. And while the world was still figuring out who he was, one person took notice: Drake. Drake featured The Weeknd songs on his OVO blog and even flew him out to collaborate on Take Care, an album that skyrocketed both of their careers. Drake wanted The Weeknd to sign with OVO Sound, but Abel refused. Instead, he gifted Drake a handful of songs, including tracks that would become hits like Crew Love.
Yeah, he did, write a lot of tracks from, what's it called? What's that album called? Take Care, right? Yeah, that album. He wrote a lot of more songs for Drake for that album.
Been shot for me. Looking back, Abel says he gave up nearly half of his album because he didn't want to be under another artist, and that he knew he'd be as successful. Then 2011, House of Balloons drops. It wasn't just an album, it was an experience. A nightmarish trip into drug addiction, toxic relationships, and self-destruction. The Weeknd wasn't just making music, he was documenting his own life in real time, and people couldn't get enough.
He always kept that mysterious persona, so.
From The Hills to Wicked Games, he painted himself as the villain, the addict, the womanizer, the emotionally numb anti-hero. And if you find asking yourself why was he so relatable, the simple answer, it was real. The Weeknd didn't glamorize the lifestyle, he confessed to it.
It was more than just a gimmick, it was really what he was facing in his life. He put it in his music, so. I used to think it was all a gimmick. I feel like After Hours and all of that stuff, like all the albums, Starboy, After Hours, all of that, I feel like those are gimmicks. Like After Hours, that's like his most gimmicky thing that he's ever done.
He wasn't selling fantasy, he was
It's not a bad thing though, because gimmicks aren't bad sometimes.
exposing his own reality. Beauty behind the madness, Starboy, After Hours. He crafted hit after hit, Can't Feel My Face, The Hills, Blinding Lights. On the surface, a glossy pop superstar, but underneath,
What's your favorite album from his discography? What's your favorite song? Just put in the comments.
he's Abel. The Weeknd kept evolving. The masterpiece that was After Hours wasn't just an album, it was a psychological thriller. Vegas wasn't just a city, it was a metaphor trapped in fame. The Weeknd wasn't just heartbroken, he was lost in a loop trying to escape but always falling back. And the real meaning behind Blinding Lights were not romance nor drugs. The outro of the previous song Faith tells us those lights are from an ambulance, where he overdosed and the sirens are the last thing he sees. But as all great stories go, every era must come to an end. For over a decade, Abel Tesfaye has lived in the shadows of the Weeknd, a name.
Oh guys, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna change his actual, like, because I know his real name's Abel, but is he gonna change his artist name to Abel too?
Like no other, an escape, a mask to hide the pain, the addiction, the loneliness. We saw him rise from the underground, embracing the darkness in House of Balloons. We watched him reach for the stars, shining brighter with Starboy, and we felt his desperation to escape.
Yeah, Starboy was like his pop album, like where he changed everything. He wanted to. That's where he cut his hair, his old hairstyle. All the music that he was making, like with that sound, like he really switched it up into a sense and worked with Daft Punk. Starboy was like his album where he switched everything up. That was the first time he's ever done that.
In After Hours. But as time passed, so did the need for the character he created. For years, he was trapped in this loop, a cycle of fame, heartbreak, excess, and reinvention. A cycle that, deep down, he always knew had an expiration date. And now, it's time to let go, shedding the skin of the character that defined him. No more tragic heartbreaks, no more masks, no more running, because for the first time in his career, Abel Tesfaye doesn't need the Weeknd to survive. The Weeknd may be coming to an end, but his legacy will forever live.
Alright, that was why Abel Tesfaye is retiring the Weeknd. Subscribe, like, comment, tell me what you guys want to see next in the comments down below. I got more videos coming, stay tuned, and yeah, Uriah out.